Welcome to Victorious Living. Are you ready to unlock your full potential and experience the abundant life God has planned for you? We all face challenges, but on Victorious Living, we will equip you with practical tools and inspiring stories to help you live a life of victory. Let's prepare ourselves to learn something new today. Before we jump in, let's spread the victory. Share this video with someone who needs a fresh perspective. You were created for greatness. Let's dive in and discover how to live a life of victory.
Welcome to Victorious Living. I want to welcome you today to watch something very important today. I have my wonderful friend, pastor, and encourager, Pastor Ranjit Abraham is here. He's going to talk about his life and his beautiful wife with us, Sneha, Pastor Sneha Ranjit Abraham. And we're going to talk about life, practically how we can live victorious. And I believe that you're not watching us by chance because one word from heaven can change your life. Without wasting time, welcome you to the program and to the studio both. And you know, our relationship goes back like 10 years, 10, 12, 15 साल हो रहे हैं. So, and you've been such an encourager. I thought कि मेरी सबसे difficult time में आपने मेरा साथ दिया, and I have seen you growing beautifully as a leader. So we're going to talk about you because you're a person of authenticity, and I know her from before time, before marriage, and I have seen her growing as a beautiful woman of God, and the way you raise your kids and support the husband. And I'm observing you for 10 years now. So I thought, let's talk about your life to our audience and let them hear how this journey can be victorious. So, Pastor Ranjit, we'll start with your life, your salvation. I know that you never wanted to become a pastor.
Absolutely. I think that when we are, I think, too much exposed to pastors' kids, especially we're from the South, and my dad has been in ministry for 50 years now. So when I was growing up, being from Delhi, utna interest nahi rehta hai because, I think ministry now is not how it used to be like 30 years ago, because I think there was lack of information and very little resources. We used to live in a 2 BHK house. That was our whole organization, and the basement used to be where everybody, so me and my mom and dad and three of us, and we had like 11 bachelors that used to live in the basement. So my mom used to cook for them, be with them, and so there was no space, and there was this expectation, say praise the Lord to everyone, not knowing why you're doing what you're doing. So over a period of time, you just kind of be like, what are you doing? Matlab, tum kya kar rahe ho? Then you go to school. So because of that, me and my sister were very introverted. So I think that for me anyways, I was into sports and music and stuff like that. और मैंने सोच लिया था Sunday को hallelujah बोलना है वो बोल देंगे, and then from Monday to Saturday we can do whatever we want. So that's how I grew up. And so that's the main reason, like many people, even now we see many pastors' kids don't want to be in ministry, because that's because what the father is preaching on Sunday is not what's happening in the house on Monday. So that was not the case with me. I work with my dad, which means I admire him not only as my father but as my leader. But there are a lot of tensions when it comes to ministry, and a lot of expectations.
So what changed suddenly?
I think I went to college. I went for my engineering.
Yes.
And I think I was living a typical hypocritical life as a pastor. And when I was there, so you need to understand that I am from Delhi, and I've always grown up because my dad used to travel. So he used to get like the cool button pencil boxes. I'm talking about like 25 years ago, and get me Reebok shoes. So I used to tell my people in my school, everybody, I was in Columbus, so they'll be like, तुम्हारे पापा क्या करते हैं? तो मैं बोलता है business करते हैं वो. Because I don't want to tell anybody my dad is like a pastor, because that's like a झंड. लोग बोलेंगे तू father है, priest boy है, ये है वो है. Guys are very unforgiving. They're not like girls. मतलब they'll be like, they'll rip you apart. So हलवे वो import में काम करते हैं, तो फिर उनके बाद कोई question पूछता नहीं था. So having that, going to a place like Karunya in the south, where I'm surrounded by like Tamil folks. So I'm not a Mallu because I don't really vibe with Malayali people. So I'm not really Tamil either. And the North Indians were also too ghati for me to kind of. I was thinking I'm going to go to St. Stephen's. I want to enjoy my life, and so.
So Karunya was father's decision?
So what happened was my Dinakaran uncle came and dad did a huge crusade for him in Ramleela grounds, I think almost for DGS uncle. So then he told my dad that all the leaders' kids are going to Karunya, you have to send your son also there. So मैंने बोला मरवा दिया यार ये end में आके. So we didn't have any interview. They said you're going there. So that's how that happened. So it was a very, very difficult time. I tell people all the time that I think I've never left my house ever in my life. I'm a mama's boy, and going to Karunya was like a room which is like 10 by 10 and like 5 people staying in that. And it was, but I learned to live my life, and in that, I got to lead worship. And one person, while I was living a hypocritical life, this girl got saved with some tooth surgery that she needed while I was singing. And she's like, come to my village, more people will get saved and more people will get healed. So that convicted me how God was able to use me, even though I was not completely honest with myself and with God. So that began the change of trajectory in my life. Then I got placed in Wipro and Infosys. I decided on 31st December, we have our all-night service when I was in 4th year, that I want to study the Bible. I want to go to Bible college and serve the Lord. So I have no experience.
So how old you were?
I was 20, 22.
Yes.
So then I got to go to US. I did my master's in Virginia. And then I was the few people, I think the only one that ever came back. And because for me, ministry is always India. It's not, I have no issues. When I went there, all these Indian people, they caught me, bhai, dekh le, hum chicken curry khayenge aur tu fatafat, either tu double masters kar, nahi to PhD kar, nahi to gori ko pagad, and aur tu yahin pe reh ja. That was the plan. But I'm like, dude, मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा ये, because मुझे तो, so as soon as I graduated, I came back and I started my ministry. So that's how I was called for ministry, and then I began ministry.
Wonderful. I remember when I was attending a worship conference with you, I just happened to ask you, you love your father. Then you replied that he's my hero.
Yeah.
And long back, your father told me that, I know you need to come and join me.
Yeah.
And I was always afraid of him.
Yeah.
So I joined you instead.
Yeah.
Because I felt that you understand me.
Yeah.
So we worked together. Whatever you used to come and
Of
help
course.
our leaders and
Absolutely.
in service.
Yes.
And you were there when people didn't want to be with me.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that. Then happens to you see Sneha comes in your life. So how that happened?
So growing up, I think I have a deep, whether it be you, not that you, I like to do what's right. And I always like to support the people that people will like, the underdogs, because I am an underdog in life, always. So, I don't know if you remember, there was this couple called David Frady, who was from UK. So they were Punjabis, they came from UK to Delhi to do mission work. And they started this worship night thing in the place called Attic.
Yes.
So we met, connected somewhere, and then they like, please come and lead worship. तो मैं गया वहाँ पे. तो मैं वहाँ पे जब गया तो वही पूरे मीटिंग में 4 ही लोग हैं और उसमें से मैं एक हूँ. तो मैंने बोला ये तो बढ़िया है. So I started helping them at the time, and so when I went for one meeting, I think they were connected to upper room or something like that. So one time they were like, I was leading worship and Sneha was there. So I was looking at Sneha, so she doesn't look like a Mallu, but she was like worshipping like a Pentecostal, like how these South Indian Pentecostals, they worship like करके. So I was like, ये क्या हो क्या रहा है ये? मतलब I know she's not from the South, but she's worshipping like a crazy woman, like she's like, because people who are new in the faith, they're a bit cautious. I don't want to like mess up my hair, don't wanna. But she's like, "Ah." So I'm like, wow, that's kind of attractive, and she's pretty also. तो मैंने बोला कुछ नहीं होता, वर्शिप लीडर का वो सिंड्रोम होता है, आएगी लड़की बात करने तो आ ही जाती है एंड में.
And
तो
she didn't come.
she didn't come.
Yes.
तो उसके बाद क्या हुआ, तो मैंने बोला ठीक है माता, तो मैंने बोला if I ever see her again, I will say hi to her. So then she went to Bangalore,
Yes, I remember. Yes.
right? So she went to Bangalore, and we lost. There was no touch because she said no, and I'm like too egoistic to be like, hey, like friend request. I don't do all that nonsense. तो फिर क्या हुआ, and I went to a church and she was there, and that's it.
In Bangalore.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means love at first sight happens.
I think I won't say it was love at the attic, but I was definitely intrigued because, I love worship, and seeing somebody worshiping like that and being pretty is like a bonus. It's like a double whammy for me. So I was like, let's go.
Yes. And
And-
I remember it was not easy. Your marriage was not easy. So
Absolutely not.
take us there.
I think it was not that, because my parents, we are a very, very tight family. And Sneha has realized that after we got married, we're like in each other's faces. मतलब हर चीज के लिए, आज कहाँ खाने के लिए जाना है, आज क्या हो रहा है, तू ये क्या कर रहा है, तूने क्या पैंट पहना है, तूने क्या शर्ट. That's how we are, so we are very, very, we may fight profusely, but nothing can come between us when it comes to having each other's back. So I think my number one, I'm Mallu. So South Indians don't mingle with other people unless you're like the rebellious or the prodigal child. So, but for me, like I said, I like to have fun in my life. I'm sorry, I'm not the guy who's going to sacrifice having fun in the altar of I love Jesus kind of thing. So I want somebody who gets it, who can have fun with me, who can travel with me, who understands my joke, because I'm sarcastic, I maro backhanded compliments, and वो सब समझ में आना चाहिए. For me, life is important, but my
And
dad,
just the way you are.
yeah,
Somebody who accepts you the way you are.
I can't act like I'm a apostle, I'm a bishop. वो सब मेरे से नहीं होता. I'm like this. I like to be one-on-one with people, and that's just how I am. So my dad was like, his concern was that he felt that because she was a new believer, she would not be able to handle
The
what
ministry.
my call is.
Yes.
It wasn't about race necessarily. It was about the fact that she won't be able to handle, she thinks that you are because when I met her for the first time, that's how I tested her. I told her I'm this missionary and I've not eaten in a good restaurant ever. Can you please help me out? So that's how I met her, and
Really?
yeah.
Men do that?
I was just, because I tell everybody, किसी की असलियत जाननी है, उसका ईगो या उसका वॉलेट को पकड़ लो, उसका असलियत ऐसे ही बाहर निकल जाएगा. So I told her, and she's like that
That's a
typical,
good point.
she's a typical, I'm a good Christian. So, oh, you're a missionary, where? So she doesn't know who I am, and I didn't tell her who I am. So she lied. So I said, I've never been to this place called UB City. तो मैं सबसे महंगे रेस्टोरेंट में लेके गया. मैंने बोला, I've never eaten in a good restaurant in my life. Can
And
you?
she paid for it?
Yeah. So
Wow.
she agreed to pay
I
for it.
agreed to pay. He didn't let me pay.
Then obviously in the end I didn't let her pay.
Yeah, I hope all the people who want to get married are listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't let her pay. So that was my dad's concern, that she will not be able to handle the weight of what I do. Because I'm not just a local pastor. I have to help my dad. We have schools, we have this, we have many things
Yes,
that are
yes,
happening.
Yes.
So it's not easy on her.
Right.
So that was his concern. But 1.5 साल के बाद मान गए वो. But now they love her.
Yeah. And I observe her how she is able to balance, even starting from her dress code when it is necessary, and
Yeah.
the way she carries herself. And I would never forget, Sneha, when I was going through difficult time and you came and hugged me and said, I'm so sorry that you have to go through all this.
I remember.
And I was not crying and she was crying. And I think that was a very profound meeting. And you prayed for me We were on the outside, like we were outside. You prayed for me, and I think God started opening so much for me. You know, in my difficult time, I found out who are with me, who are my real friends. So I've told my children, so when you are successful and grow up, never forget them
Yeah.
who stood by your
Yes.
mom. So coming back to your married life, how do you balance?
You asking me?
Yes, both of you. How do you balance? How do
Balance?
you?
She does
It's
everything.
9 years now together.
It's going to be 9 in a few months.
She does everything. I just, try to be a good dad, a supportive husband, and we come from such different family backgrounds, not only culturally but even emotionally and psychologically. So she has gone above and beyond. So I think in our marriage, because we both are trying to outdo the other person, because we are so grateful that, like, I'm so grateful for her to, like,
And
we
you call her Laddu?
yeah.
Oh, how so? Because I used to think she's so thin and he's calling her Laddu.
So
Like, why?
I call her Laddu because when I say something nice, na, she blushes. तो
Oh.
तो मैंने बोला अब तो लड्डू हो
This
रहा
is
होगा.
No,
my
it was
10 years
first
old
time.
question.
No, it's the first time when he told me that. So he has never proposed to me that will you marry me. He just said, "I'm going to marry you," and I didn't react because I was like, yeah, whatever. But he was like, "Oh, inside तो बहुत लड्डू हो रहा है सुन के, but you are not showing it." So since then, my name is
Yeah.
Laddu.
Good. So when there is a stress or you're tired or something, tell us something that our audience would like to know. How do you handle that crisis?
I think we I'm gonna I think over time I know she knows my non-negotiables and I know her non-negotiables in life, uh, and I've realized, because in my family it was always that, I was always like, my dad and me, we're always the problem solver, right? And I realized with her that doesn't work. She doesn't want a solution, she just wants me to be there. So that was an adjustment for me, because I'm always trying to, okay, you're feeling this way, so how should we fix this situation? So that took me.
Is it like a man thing?
I think it could be. I think because I've seen my dad always having a solution.
Solution for all problems. Yeah.
So he's always, so for me, that's what I'm saying. So for me, in my household, a man has to, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, he has to take care of everything. You can't be weak.
Leader.
You have to be a leader. You have to protect. You have to provide. You have to safeguard. And if nobody is there to take the position, you take it.
Wow.
So that's how I've grown up. So that's how I am in even our family. She doesn't know about मतलब मेरा पति क्या कर रहा है, मेरा पति क्या कमा रहा है, कहाँ से. She doesn't know anything. मतलब मगर it'll be done.
Yes.
So that's the way I'm
so proud of you.
So उसके वजह से when it comes to her, that's how I was approaching her. But then I realized that that's not the way, and I've changed.
But you're good, and we'll come to her. So how do you handle the differences?
Well, there have been a lot of differences, in terms of his family being different, my family being very different. I think very early on, when I got married to him, there was this. We all think as Christians that we are not selfish, but I realized that we all are very selfish, and I realized that I'm very selfish. I make everything about me. Also because come from a nuclear family. Everybody is together in his family all the time. They are looking out for each other. So I have a younger brother, but I'm the older one. So I was used to getting my way.
वो भी है.
I was used to getting my way. It was, and very passively. I didn't have to fight for it. So everybody would agree with me. I would call the shots.
Yes.
But and then, being the older one in the house, and then suddenly becoming the youngest in a huge family was a big adjustment.
And cultural difference.
Cultural difference was there, sure. Yeah, but definitely. I loved the food, by the way. I loved the food. It was like all my friends were teasing me when I was about to get married to him. Oh, now you have to eat idli every day, or you have to eat dosa every day. But that's not the case.
Love it.
Malayali food is amazing. I could eat
That's
it
a North Indian
every
problem.
day.
Na? They think South India is Madrasi.
Yeah, that's what we used to think.
I don't understand.
Guilty. So, but very early on, even though it's not something biblical, I don't have a scripture to back it up. I had decided that because everybody was very much against me being married to him, that I probably am not the right choice for him. I had kind of made a promise to myself that nobody would ever get a chance to say this to him, that, see, we told you. It's not biblical. I don't have a scripture to back it up, but I had made that decision that nobody would be able to say that. I will not give an opportunity. And, and I prayed that prayer. I said, God, I don't know if anybody is ever going to say that.
But I have a
Brilliant.
scripture to back you.
Yeah.
Proverbs 31.
Yeah, okay. At that time, it was more like an ego ride. It was like, God. And I prayed and I said, God, I don't know how to put this across to you. But my husband, maybe they will never come around and say that, hey, good decision. We wouldn't have found someone better than her for you. But they will never get to say this. And I would go to any lengths for that. And
When I saw you in the Malayali sari one day, because I follow you, so that's the day I said, wow, she got it. I had that feeling. She's doing everything to really win the heart.
yeah.
I'm sure that you didn't spend time winning arguments. You actually gave these 9 years winning heart.
Yeah.
I saw your hard work.
Yeah.
The way you carry your, raise your children and standing by his side. So I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
And there are a lot of women who are in this situation, like they are married and they have challenges. What would you like to tell them?
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you were blessed by this message. Let's use this encouragement to spread hope and light, not only in our own lives, but also in our families and communities. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment and let us know how God is working in your lives. Stay victorious and be blessed.